as Gibbs and Montgomery both find the end zone for the 15th time as teammates, breaking a tie with Emmitt Smith and Darryl Johnston for the most by a running back teammates in the Super Bowl era. Damien Woody is with me, and big fella, this weekend is loaded. We're going to talk about some of the games we're looking forward to coming up on Sunday, but it starts with a game that each team really had to have, and Detroit still got work to do to make the playoffs. Yep. But on their home field, indoors, where they're so dangerous, what did they do best tonight that allowed them to get this victory in the end comfortably?
I thought defensively they really got after Dak Prescott. They had 5 sacks, but they had countless more pressures against Dak Prescott. They really made it a point that we're going to come after and we're going to heat this offense up, because this is obviously one of the best offenses that we have in the National Football League. And offensively, they were moving the ball up and down the field, but they were splendid in the red zone. When they got down to what we call that money zone, they capitalized. That was really the difference in the game. They were 4 or 5 in the red zone. Dallas was 1 or 3. So, when you look at both, they just played a complete game on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, and you make the point about the 5 sacks. That had been really a gigantic issue for them coming into this game, and Dak's still going to get his, and he does. But that's the side of the football it seems that they've got to be better at in a game against Dallas to give them a chance. But just as you project forward, this is a Detroit team that's a ton of fun to watch, and over the past couple of years, they've ascended to a place where they've not been. How do you view them in the big picture of the NFC, though? Are they a threat long term?
I would say this. I don't think they're going to win the NFC North. And with them not winning the NFC North, that makes them a wild card team. You're going to have to win 3 road games to get to the Super Bowl. That is very, very hard to do. You're talking about the Tom Brady, I think 2020 Bucks and Aaron Rodgers back in the day, like 2010. Those are the only 2 teams that took the long, hard road to get to the Super Bowl.
And as you and I watch the games, always chatting about all the different topics that surround it. And I mean, it's hard, for me, it's hard to shake, say, the game in the wind in Philadelphia, right? And just the idea of on the road, and you look at who, maybe you go to Chicago, maybe you go to Green Bay. I mean, if you go to LA and it's indoors, cool, but if it just feels like it's an uphill climb. But they do have that 2-headed monster and the run game that they can lean on. And we saw Montgomery and Gibbs get theirs tonight. And as we watch Gibbs, and you're on the same list as Barry Sanders, who for the youngsters, you should watch number 20 in the Honolulu Blue because he was unreal. But so is Gibbs. What most impresses you about his game?
Listen, first of all, it's the speed. We always talk about like you can't teach speed. He has plenty of it. See, every time he touches the ball, he literally can go the distance. And the thing that impresses me the most is he's what I call a dual threat running back. He's one of those guys, 3-down back. He's obviously great running the ball, but in the passing game, he's like another receiver. I don't know how many times tonight where he was utilizing the passing game, and he was just making guys looking stupid out there. So when you have that type of dual threat running back, man, that is a big, big weapon for this offense.
And on that one touchdown up the middle, ran through contact. He's tough, too, not just a speed guy who doesn't want any part of the contact. I mean, he can run between the tackles if he needs to. On the Dallas side of this, I mean, at this point, your boy Stephen A. in the morning is going to have his hat on and be acting the fool, messing with the Dallas fans, as he loves to do. In beating Philadelphia and Kansas City back-to-back, they had a path for it. They got to win out, and they need a ton of help. I assume this is all but it for them as a playoff team this year, isn't it?
Absolutely. They're going to need, like you said, they're going to need a ton of help. And I think the only way for them to get into the postseason is by hopefully Philadelphia goes into full meltdown and they find a way to win the NFC East. Other than that, they're going to need a ton of help to get into the postseason.
Proud of the guys. They rallied, man. They showed up. The work was there all week. It always is, but the intensity, the urgency, the guys don't ever get frazzled. They don't get panicked. They just go to work, and they did it again. Talked about takeaways. Man, we got takeaways. We got 3 of them. 2 of them turned into 14 points. We were able to turn those up. And then the last one, we were able to kneel it, after Reed's pick. So, a number of guys played really good for us. Muhammad with the 3 sacks, that was big time. Hutch draws a lot of attention. He got some one-on-ones. Man, he won one-on-ones. That was huge. Jack Campbell was all over the field, had a punch out. TK in the return game, Tom Kennedy, was huge for us, big time. So was Sailors. Special teams played a huge role. And then Goff, man, I told him we were going to put this on him. This game we were going to put on him, and it was going to start with him. And, man, he really lit the fire for us. And then St. Brown, man, we didn't know if we were going to be able to get him. Once again, St. Brown does what St. Brown does. If he can play, he's going to play. And he didn't want any plays off either, by the way. Like, he's going in to compete. He'll block. He made some explosive plays for us. J-Mo stepped up. Just a number of great performances. I thought Gibbs showed up. Demo. The guys we talked about, man, we challenged a number of our guys, and, man, they really showed up for us. So that's a damn good win. That team is hot. It was a hot team coming in here. That's a potent offense. And, was it perfect? No. We still got some stuff that wasn't good. We had some of these penalties. We had some young guys that we got to clean some of this up, false starts, stuff like that. But we overcame a lot, and that's what this team does, so I'm proud of them.
You take a look at the longest winning streak following a loss. That's so important. In golf, it's bounce back, right? You make a bogey, what do you do after? Well, when it comes to winning after a loss, Detroit is in rare company. They just don't lose consecutive games. Aidan Hutchinson kind enough to throw on a headset and join our show once again. Aidan, how are you? Scott Van Pelt, thanks for taking some time. I have framed tonight as a gotta-have-it game. Is it fair to say it that way? Is that how your group saw what Thursday's game against Dallas represented?
Yeah, I mean, it's so big. This was really, we saw it as a playoff game. We know the situation we're in, and, we took advantage of it. Really happy with what we did on all three phases, and we're going to use this momentum to keep on doing it.
You had a ton of pressures. One in particular, I don't think you get credit for a sack, as Dak might have gotten past the line of scrimmage. I saw you tap the helmet. Man, you guys were selling out to get to the quarterback, and you all did collectively 5 times. How much of a point of emphasis, Aidan, was it tonight to get to that guy, given what that offense is capable of doing?
Huge, man. I mean, they're so dangerous, and really the emphasis was cutting our D-line loose tonight, and I think it was really paying dividends all around the board. So really happy with our performance as a defense. Obviously, there's plays we want back, there's stuff we want to do, but hey, it's a win nonetheless, and we're moving on to the next one.
No doubt. 5 sacks, 3 turnovers, all of it helps the offense cash those in. You guys were great in the red zone, and I'm going to pivot to that other side of the ball. Your coach just said St. Brown, St. Brown. I know why receivers can get a rep for being divas, right? But that dude has a rep for being as tough as nails. Only you all know what he had to go through to be available tonight. What would you say about him being out there and the plays he made for your team?
Doesn't surprise me at all, man. That's the cloth that St. Brown is cut from, and I wouldn't expect anything different, man. He's an absolute baller and such a critical piece to our team.
Being up there a couple of times for Monday nights, Aidan, I've had a chance to see the reverence for Barry Sanders. He is royalty in the NFL and certainly in Detroit. Jahmyr Gibbs now is tied for the number of touchdowns he has through 3 seasons, man. If you're on a list with Barry Sanders, you're in incredibly rare air. What has Gibbs provided you all? And I realize Montgomery's there too. It's not just one guy, but holy crap, Gibbs is a monster, man. What do you see from him week in and week out?
Gibbs and Demo, I mean, I really believe we have the best duo in the NFL, and
I agree.
I'm happy I don't have to play against them, because watching them, it's electric, man. I mean, Gibbs is flashy, and Demo also flashy, but he'll juke some guys out, run some dudes over. They're really fun to watch, man, and I'm really, really grateful to be on the same team as them.
Damien Woody's back with me, and Damien, I feel like we've made the point many times through the years of what Coach Belichick used to talk to you guys about in terms of the significance of a divisional game, worth 1.5. Yep. So with that in mind, we're going to shrink this down on a week we could talk about 10 games to 3. We'll start with Colts-Jags. Speaking of shrinking, that Colts lead in the AFC North is gone. AFC South is gone. What's the differentiator between the Jags and the Colts in this game?
Well, you're talking about 2 teams heading in the opposite direction. The Colts are 1-3 in their last 4 games. The Jaguars have won their last 3 games. And when you look at the Colts, this Colts team, most of their success was predicated on Jonathan Taylor. Well, guess what? In this downturn, he hasn't really been going. And to compound that, Daniel Jones has that lower leg injury where he's not able to move around as much. So
that changes how he plays the game.
It does change how he plays because he's an athletic quarterback and he's mobile. And so when you're able to gang up on Jonathan Taylor and force Daniel Jones to beat you, they're having a real hard time right now. And so one thing about this Jacksonville Jaguars defense, they're number 1 in the league in rush defense. So it's going to be tough sledding for Jonathan Taylor down in Jacksonville.
I mentioned AFC North, Pittsburgh, Baltimore. They get together. It's been a great rivalry forever. The path to where they are at 6-6 is not perhaps what we expected. For me personally, I feel like it's harder to see Pittsburgh becoming some new version of themselves in the remaining games.
Yeah.
Maybe it could happen for Baltimore, but Lamar hasn't looked great at all lately. So for Baltimore to become the best version of itself, what has to happen?
Lamar has to get healthy. I mean, just watching Baltimore, it's clear Lamar's not healthy. And on top, he's not playing well. Combination. He's not playing well. He's not healthy. When Lamar Jackson's not utilizing his legs, it just takes so much away from the offense and what makes the Baltimore Ravens so dangerous offensively. So there's still time, but he has to get healthy to get the full Lamar Jackson experience on offense.
Yeah, and you've lived through it, and you'd know better than anybody. There might not be time for him to get right until next year. You just got to play with whatever you are, and so we'll see what the ceiling looks like for those two teams. Bears-Packers, and I got to throw my hand up and go, look, I've been guilty of but with the Bears. I kept butting them. Well, I'm not butting anymore. I watched him go in and run for 281 in Philadelphia and bully him, and I'm like, all right, that's a totally different look. Now you got to do it in Green Bay. What's your sense of what the Bears will look like in that road game?
First, I got to say, it was such a treat watching the Bears. I'm watching guys getting thrown out the club in Philadelphia, man. That was fun to watch. But listen, that show is going up to Green Bay. Like, Green Bay better strap up their chin straps because that Bears offensive line and that rushing attack is real, okay? So this Green Bay defense is one of the best defenses in the league. Everyone knows that. Bears want to run the football. Defensively, they want to take it away. They're not very good on defense, but they take the ball away.
That's the funny thing.
That's the funny thing, okay? I think a couple things here with the Bears. Caleb, to me, I think if the Bears want to win this game, Caleb has to play better than what he's playing right now. He's a little inconsistent. He's not turning the ball over, but he's a little inconsistent in the passing game. They're going to need that. Why? Because the other quarterback, Jordan Love, is playing fantastic football. He is playing lights out, and his receivers are catching the football.
Yeah.
How about that? So,
well, we were talking about that upstairs. They might not have a true wide receiver one with Green Bay, but they got two or three guys, especially as they're getting healthier, with Wicks playing, and Reed's going to come back at some point, Watson. You like the Packers the best in the North in the NFC?
I do like the Packers because the combination of the defense and Jordan Love in that offense, I like the Packers.
Amazingly enough, Kansas City doesn't even make their space. We ain't no room. They're in trouble if they don't win that game. Like,
They
maybe
have to
done.
win it. Done.